This will start out simple. You have a problem, you don't know what to do about it. This is what it looks like. Your problem looks like a Venn diagram?
It's not a Venn diagram.
We should all be so lucky to have problems that look like Venn diagrams.
Oh, you all have the same problems other people have. Paying bills, finding time to do the laundry. But this problem is different.
Maybe it's a ghost. Maybe your apartment building is haunted.
By who?
Could your building have been built on top of a Native American burial mound? Or maybe the building's being haunted by dead bar patrons from the neighborhood's Polish dance hall brothel days. Maybe you're going insane.
You would know it if you were going insane, right?
What if you're not the only one in your building who's being visited? What if perpendicular lines are haunting the first floor, concentric circles haunting the second, and a plate of noodles won't leave the third floor alone? Now you see, about a week ago, this three-circled thing, whatever it is, starts showing up in your dreams at night. It talks to you and tells you things. You wake up each morning terrified knowing you've been visited by this thing, but you can't remember what it's trying to say. After a couple of nights like this, you realize it's time to take matters into your own hands.
You decide to stop sleeping.
Who needs sleep anyway?
A lot of people don't need much sleep. A lot of them happen to be famous.
Napoleon managed just fine on 3 hours of sleep.
He was a pretty sharp dresser,
Winston
too.
Churchill, Sir Isaac Newton, Catherine the Great,
Ben Franklin, Mark Twain.
Groucho Marx.
It looks like you could use some sleep.
The thing, whatever it is not going to bother you if you don't fall asleep. So you stay up all night at the kitchen table eating salami sandwiches, drinking coffee, and reading back issues of Cat Fancy.
Oh, I love Cat Fancy.
It's quiet, very quiet. And then it happens. You hear the voice of the three-circled thing. It's a deep, matter-of-fact voice. Old school Chicago. Now tell me, what's the star with that Cat magazine you're always thumbing through? Is that a good read or something? Now listen, I've been trying to talk to you. I got things to tell you. You've been ignoring me. You look down at your sandwich. Ask him.
Don't be afraid.
Who are you? Who am I? Let's just say I'm a relative of yours. You look up. Mr. Three Circles is gone.
Probably didn't like the smell of your salami sandwich.
Mr. Three Circles is a dead relative of yours, but which one? Who could it be? Think hard. You come up with 3 names. Grandfather Max, Grandfather Harry, and Cousin Irving. The next day, you take a train downtown to the Spertus Institute of Jewish Studies, where your family with Chicago roots dating back to the turn of the century has an archive. You tell the librarian, I'm looking for information on my grandfathers and this one cousin. I don't know much about them except I've been told one of my grandpas was a bookie. May have ran some kind of numbers racket.
The librarian laughed.
They say that about my grandpa, too. You know, it wasn't that uncommon back then. Folks did whatever they had to do to get by.
Yep, you agree. Thinking about what it must have been like back in the day. While copying archives, an old man waves you over.
Couldn't help but overhear about your research project. You know what? I knew one of your grandfathers.
Really? What can you tell me about
amazing
him?
Luck. Shh. The walls here at Spertus have ears. Meet me at Manny's Deli. We'll do lunch and talk. My name is Sal. See you at Manny's.
So you head on over to Manny's off of Roosevelt Road. I'd like a corned beef on 7-grain bread with mayo and cheddar cheese and sprouts.
Man behind the counter gives you the fish eye.
That's not how it's done.
So we hand you a corned beef on rye.
Why's it gotta be on rye? He's just trying to do his job. Why are you being so hard on him? You don't like this guy. This guy, he's the one giving you the fish eye before turning his back on you like this. Son of a bitch.
You find Saul sitting with another man.
Meet my friend, Mr. Diamond. Mr. Diamond looks strangely familiar to you.
Don't I know you? No. I thought you couldn't smoke in Chicago restaurants anymore. They make an exception for me.
This guy must be pretty important to be above the law, but you're not impressed. Let's get to business here, shall we? Mr. Diamond and I were associates of your grandfather from way back when. At one time when he needed help, we extended a kindness to him, but he never returned the kindness. So now we look to you, his relative, to return the kindness on his behalf. Mr. Diamond's blowing smoke in your face.
By kindness, you mean money? So you invite me to lunch at a place where they won't make me a corned beef sandwich on 7-grain with mayo and cheddar, just so you can tell me I have to pay you back money that my grandfather, now deceased, owes you from like decades ago? What are you, the Jewish mob?
Is there even such a thing?
Mr. Diamond narrows his eyes, pointing a finger at you. What? You don't want your corned beef on rye? You want it on 7 grade with mayo and cheddar cheese? Well, it's obvious you're not who you say you are. So who are you working for? Tell me, who are you? I mean, seriously, what kind of Jew orders a corned beef on 7 grain? A Jew from California. My family may be from Chicago, where they do it with rye, but I grew up on the West Coast, where no one really cares if you use wheat bread or rye.
Now you're screaming.
You guys are crepes.
And you walk out.
That night in dreams, you receive another visit from the 3 Circles. You need to find out who he is.
Time to investigate the men on your list.
You drive west to Lawndale. The Jews left this neighborhood in the late 1940s, early 1950s. The African-American families moved in. You drive past boarded-up buildings, a burned-out lot. Max's synagogue's now a Baptist church. Max owned a grocery store, was generous to a fault, let customers shop on credit. Some never paid him back, and he died in 1949.
Is it Max who's visiting you in your dreams?
Now, Harry, you drive up north to Humboldt Park. Now mostly Puerto Rican, the neighborhood's in pretty good shape. Grandpa Harry, they say, was good with the numbers, loved to play cards, could have been a bookie, ran a cigar store downtown. He wasn't religious. He died 2 years before you were born.
Drive to the Loop, look for the cigar shop. It's a Walgreens.
Irving, according to the archive, cousin Irving finished school, but it was the Depression and he couldn't find a job. So he hitchhiked from Chicago to New York City, taught in public schools and mentored troubled youth. One of them was Lee Harvey Oswald.
Oh, my word.
After Kennedy's assassination, the Warren Commission sought out Cousin Irving, asking him if he thought Oswald acted alone. Irving didn't think he did it by himself.
Apparently, Irving didn't think Oswald was smart enough to do it alone.
All of this reading up on your relatives and driving around Chicago has been very interesting. You still don't know who owes Sal and Mr. Diamond money. You still have no idea who Mr. 3 Circles is, and by the way, you're really freaked out by the white van that's been following you for hours. You can't go home.
Where can you go?
The Spertus, you can hide there. You run into the Spertus foyer.
What's the rush? Asks the security guard.
They're following me.
Who's they?
The Jewish mob.
Huh?
You're in the elevator now and you can't breathe. You find a bench in front of the display of objects from the Spertus collection.
Safe here.
You gaze up at a stained glass window in the case. You've seen this window before, maybe in a family photo for the archive.
Very odd. You see a man's reflection in the glass and you turn around.
It's Mr. Diamond, standing there with Sal. What do you want from me?
We want to apologize.
Mr. Diamond jumps in. See, we're not the Jewish mob. We didn't know your grandfather. We made that up. We're actors. I'm Bobby De Niro and this is Jerry Stiller. Me, I'm not that famous, but don't you recognize Jerry from the King of Queens of Seinfeld? Do you have a TV set? Anyway, we're trying out a script for a movie about Jewish mobsters coming to Chicago, and Jerry says I need to work on my Jewish mob impression. We were doing a little research at the Spertus when you showed up. You, the perfect guinea pig. Looks like we're pretty convincing. We're definitely doing the film now.
You're relieved but angry.
Tell the white van to stop following me. White van? That's not us.
Who's in the white van then, huh?
You step into the elevator.
You're alone and confused.
You're not alone, so stop feeling sorry for yourself. It's the 3 Circles in the elevator with you. You want to know who I am? I'm your Grandpa Harry, and I never was a bookie. That's just a story your cousin Susan likes to tell. And now, according to the ways in which things operate, I'm not allowed to visit you, but I felt I had to intervene to give you some advice in this time of recession. But I know you're going through a rough patch, so here's some words of wisdom. It's what got me through the Great Depression. Don't spend no money you don't have. Learn how to play cards, and if you're good at it, you might make some money. Never eat corned beef on 7 green. That's an embarrassment to the family. Thanks, Grandpa, but why is there a van following me? Well, the van that's about your nosing around by Lee Harvey Oswald. Listen, that concerns the other side of the family. Maybe they'll send someone over here to intervene. And with that, he's gone, leaving you with some advice about corned beef. And the walls inside the Spertus, they do have ears. And outside, there's a van waiting for you. The end. Or is it?